All right, so we've got that worked out. Now let's talk about transitions and drops. Well, first of all, let's talk about the song in whole. So what I would normally do in this part of the process is just listen to the entire thing. Listen for any elements that are missing, and if you need to know what elements are, just go. There's a kind of a training on what elements makes a song sound full. Normally, if you're listening to your beat and you're like, it just sounds like something's missing or it sounds empty, if you go to that elements training, it'll kind of give you an overview of why that might be, why you might be missing some instruments. But normally I would give it a good listen, kind of pick out the parts where it needs a little sizzle, right? Needs a little something here, a little something there. Like especially in the second verse, it's a little barren right now, which is on purpose because I want the vocals to carry the majority of that, but it's nice to have little accents here and there, right? And then I would identify the places where the transitions are choppy or just not making sense, and then drops we'll get into later. But first, let's tackle transitions. So I'm just gonna I'm gonna listen to the song so far, and I'm just gonna listen for the first transition that doesn't sound, good, like polished, right? So let's just start there. I'm gonna play it from the beginning. And normally transitions, just so going back to formatting, transitions lie between the intro and the verse and the first chorus, for this one in particular, the chorus and the second verse. Normally it's in between sections. That's what we're talking about when we say transitions. That one's good. Timpani roll's good on that. Doesn't need much more. Yeah. So far, so good. Ooh, there's like a strange little click in this. You hear that? I'm just going to play this. Yeah, there's a weird sound there. Good thing about having a WAV file is that is a very easy fix. So we're just going to change this to, I'll go with step. And we're just going to do that. And now that's gone. All right, here we go. So that was a pretty good transition. I mean, intro into first verse into the first chorus sounds good. So we're gonna go to the end of the first chorus and hear what that sounds like. That's not bad. I feel like it needs a little something under those snares. So if you listen to the end, like some sort of rise or some sort of something under that snare, so it brings up a lot of tension before it just goes bup 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 bup. Let's see what we can find. So yeah, like I said, we're just gonna do one transition. Transitions, trust yourself. Know what transitions sound like. You'll know. I have a folder in here somewhere of just transitions. Some transition samples, so I think I'm going to use that instead of a plugin this time. I feel like Arcade should have just a transition line, but I don't think they do yet. They will one day, but they don't yet. So let me look in drums. I'm in the F drive. That's the problem. So go to packs. Let's go to my drums. Let's see what we got. Let's go to the other pack. There we go. Drums. Okay. Looking down here. I think I have a transitions folder. Must be just not in the drums folder, but in its own. Okay, there we go. So yeah, maybe whoosh low. Yeah, sorta. Nah, those are too. I need something a little more aggressive. There we go. We're getting there. That's not bad. That's too long. I think I like this glass one. We'll try this one. And you can, it can be a trap to search for the perfect sound. You could find yourself working on the same beat for a year if you're always looking for the exact perfect sound. I'm not saying settle for good enough. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying it's something to be mindful of is the best way I know how to explain it. It can be a real time suck if you're just like looking through 300 snares trying to find the perfect one, right? Something like that. You've probably seen a meme on that, I'm sure. Excuse me. It's a trap you can fall into. So just something to be mindful of. But that does not mean rush through your project and not make it sound the best it can. I'm just saying, watch the time you're auditioning sounds, looking for that perfect one, because that could just take way too much time. All right, let's hear what this sounds like. Oh no, that did not work at all. I feel like this needs to fall on maybe this beat. Hold on. Yeah, somewhere in there. Maybe it's on that second beat. Maybe it's on that beat. Like right here. Let's hear what that sounds like. Yeah, there we go. All right, so playing a little bit. We're just going to back it up a little bit and hear what that sounds like going into the second verse. I'm going to cut it off right there so it doesn't have a tail on it. Nah, it needs a tail. Tail's fine. Okay. Next thing I want to do, I feel like it needs some music under that snare. Like it needs some sort of swell synth something. Here, we'll just call it swell synth. It needs maybe a sound that hasn't been in this song yet. Something brand new that kind of introduces that second verse. So let's go back to bar. We're going to drag this over here. And so it's going to go right there. Maybe a bass. I have some cool bass swell sounds, so I'm going to go to Serum. Got some cool presets I got from Splice back when I had an account with them. Alright, it's just loading up. Just thinking about it. There we go. Alright. User, Splice. And I think it's under bass. Let me look under the bass sounds. Not necessarily. Do I have a reverse folder? Reverse. Here we go. Yeah, I feel like we need a reverse. So, I don't know. We'll try growl. We'll hear what that sounds like. Let me just pick the right note. That note. No. I can't even tell what note that sound is, so let me try a different sound. I don't like growl. Plus it pulses. I don't want that. I want it to grow throughout, so we're going to go with, I don't know, driver? Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. We're going to put this on track 25. Here we go. Dun. Yeah, we'll try the low one. We'll put it right there. Let's hear what that sounds like. Oh, hold on. Let me switch this to beat. There we go. I want it to end right when that measure starts. So let me zoom in a bit. There we go. Wow. I think a quarter step needs to be even smaller than that because it goes over just slightly. Okay. We'll go to none. Here we go. All right, there we go. Yeah, I like that. That sounds pretty good. So let's listen to that transition one more time. And I don't have to add any volume automation or anything. Like the growth is built into the sound where it, you know, opens up as we get closer to the second verse. Something sounds funny. Hold on. Maybe we take out this whoosh. Let me mute that for a second. Yeah, I don't like the whoosh, but I like the crash at the end of the whoosh. So I think we're going to add a crash there instead of a whoosh. So I'm going to get rid of the whoosh sample just so it doesn't clutter up my sample list there. Okay. Yeah, we're going to add a crash. So like a simple crash to kind of ring out over the beginning of that second verse. So I'm going to pull this. Hold on. Let's go back to bar. There we go. We're going to pull this over here. And we're just going to put it right there. I'm going to unmute it. Okay. And I'm going to go to my... We're going to put this on track 24, and I'm going to look in my JDM drum kit, which you have access to if you need this sound. Cymbal. That one will work. We're going to put this on track 24, like I said. Okay, and we're going to add a crash. Sometimes you may need to tune your drum. Drums will have a pitch associated with them if you listen closely. I think that actually works. That seems to be in the key. So let's play it. Let's drag this out. Here we go. All right. Sounds good. I'm going to let this ring all the way out. Here we go. Yeah, sounds good. We're just going to pull the volume back a little bit. Still a little loud. Okay, cool. So that's our first transition. Next, let's look at drops. So I'm going to go through, I'm going to listen to the track. I'm going to add in different transitions to smooth it out. And then we're going to look for places for drop. Actually, we're going to jump right into drops. That way we'll save a little time in our next video. So we'll check that out. Hey, what's going on? I hope you've enjoyed this training. This training is just part of a larger course, so if you want to take the whole course, just go to this playlist right here. Also, if you subscribe to my channel, you're going to get a lot of information on how to get your music into TV and film. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and subscribe, comment, like, all of those things. Let's go.